What's going on there, Reject Nation? Greg and John here. Today, we are going to start up the show Arcane. We've got so many requests for this. Don't know if people are going to watch our reaction or not, but hey, if you're here, please hit that like button. Mean the world if you can. Subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when our reaction for the next Arcane episode is up. As always, full-length watch-alongs where you sync up with the time code for any of the shows that you see here on the channel or over at our Patreon page. There are plenty of shows over there where for most of them you get the option for reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. The boys at Prep are editing down the highlights for this one. And lastly, I gotta say, this is like prequel story stuff to League of Legends. We don't know League of Legends. It's just gotta be fully upfront. Of course, we've heard of it and we've been familiarized through like certain clips and trailers in the past, but we by no means know the story of it. I'm not gonna BS you through that. I've been reassured by countless people that doesn't matter. We can still go and enjoy the show. I'm sure it's like more beneficial for people who are. Just letting you know up front that there's like Easter eggs or something. We're not gonna notice that. Okay, we're going in blind. We haven't even seen a trailer for this show. Have you?
Nope.
I have not seen a trailer for this show. Going purely off of the harassment in the comments, which makes it seem like so many people will watch this.
Hype harassment.
All right, guys, let's do it. Whoa, I'm hooked.
All it took was 10 seconds.
Wow. I already have so much chills. Oh my god, I got like goosebumps running down my body. What is the show?
Aww.
Wow.
So much gravitas.
I feel like I'm watching a Denis Villeneuve film.
Yeah, I know.
Damn. Kingdom amongst the horrors there. That was such a desolate and striking intro. My goodness.
Yeah, that was gripping. It's so beautiful.
I'll get her.
No! Powder, look at me! What did I tell you?
I'm ready.
That's right. So?
You can do parkour, come on! Whoa!
Wow. Yeah, that perspective warp.
Guys?
This looks important.
Woohoo!
The real jackpot.
Milo!
Oh. No! Oh, yeah.
What have you guys done?
Stop right there!
Wow. The camera work on this show is insane.
Seriously.
Damn. It feels so goddamn visceral. I love it.
I know.
Love it.
What the hell happened back there?
I don't know. I didn't do anything.
It was the sandwich.
How about you share a little taste of your treasure there, and we'll call it even.
No. We worked too hard to...
Just a taste?
Just...
Oh,
Nice. Ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all getting Agent Smithed.
Oh. Oh.
Man.
This day's turning out all right after all.
Oh, no.
No, it's not.
Let me shake you.
Come back here.
So blood.
Yeah. Whoa, no.
This has such a great swashbuckling, adventurous spirit to it, man.
You folks need anything? Leave us. You sure about that? Sounded to me like...
Piss off. You don't seem to listen,
A
Baldman.
bit of advice. Don't threaten the guy who pours the drinks.
That is good advice.
We stay out of Piltover's business.
Why? They've got plenty while we're down here scraping together coins. When did you get so comfortable living in someone else's shadow?
Ooh, bold words.
Everyone out.
I'm about to beat this woman.
You're gonna have to lay low for a bit. Understand?
Okay. We're gonna be fine, right?
I'll take care of it.
You know what, Milo? You're right. There's a bunch of things Powder just can't do.
You don't have to tell me twice.
But...
Like complain about everything.
What?
Oh, come on. She missed that.
Right time to walk away.
Oh, crap.
Uh-oh.
That's not good.
No! Well, hello.
What is the air made of down here?
Some trencher trash attacked one of the buildings in the Academy District. But you already knew that.
We're looking for the culprits.
Got a description?
Yeah. It's exactly who you're picturing in that thick head of yours.
Lovely chap you brought.
Clever.
You know this crossed the line upstairs.
Was anyone hurt?
A building was blown to bits. What do you think?
Maybe?
You don't seem to grasp how serious this is. If I don't put someone behind bars tonight, the next time I come down here...
Oh no. He's gonna go.
I'm sorry, Grayson. But I can't offer up my own people.
Shit.
They ruined everything. I always do.
Nobody said that.
No, just that you were twice the person at half my age. You heard them.
Oh.
These were in my pocket. They're from the apartment.
What are they?
I don't know. Should we show Vander?
No. Let's keep this our little secret. Milo's wrong, Powder. You're stronger than you think. This city's gonna respect us.
Or crumble.
Or be crushed by the topside.
The kids. It was their fault. The explosion in the upper city.
That was them.
Yeah, the topsiders are up in arms looking for him.
Vander's in trouble.
That guy looks bad.
Our timeline has moved up.
It's almost ready.
Show me.
Oh no. What are they gonna do?
Feeding time.
Oh no.
Stabilizing.
Is that rat gonna defeat the cat? I think the rat's gonna defeat the
I
cat.
think that rat is about to Hulk the F out. Oh no.
But the kitty.
Someone just volunteered.
Oh man.
Dude.
Dude.
I cannot
Yo.
wait. I cannot
That's
wait.
only the first episode. Boom. That was fucking great.
So cool.
That was great.
So much punch.
Oh man, let's talk about it. I thought that was great. It had such a wonderful array of tone and genre splicing, and there was a portion. I think it was the first time when they were getting caught. When it's like there's obviously, as we're getting acquainted with the world, we'll pick up on the names of all the cities and locations, you know, and how the cities and all that are separated by the classism and whatnot. But in terms of an introductory episode, I was so impressed with just how it seamlessly weaved in and out of so much, like from its opening sequence, teasing of what's to come. It really felt like out of a Denis Villeneuve film, of this like haunting, desolate, just insanely dramatic tone poem of a sequence. There was like no dialogue at all, but I was so swept up in it. And then to go to this like adventurous, swashbuckling, engaging sci-fi aspect of the world, there was a portion of the action scenes where I was just so caught up in being dazzled and the wonder of the filmmaking that I just started like shedding a tear, which never happens to me. I'm just so moved by how great and moving the filmmaking itself is, that it was just reminding me of so much of a great hodgepodge of like, I was getting qualities of like when Spielberg directed the Adventures of Tintin, when he directed Tintin, but had a bit of like a Phil Lord and Chris Miller vibe to it, along with like a Brad Bird animation style aesthetic as well. And it's just a cool world to get encompassed in, enamored with, and it had a great introductory to the whole characters of our main protagonists that we're going to be watching, with Violet and Powder. And I actually like that we don't know the League of Legends world, because it makes it more interesting here. And yeah, so that's just like the basic thoughts summed up in like a minute and a half for me. But John, what did you think so far for the first episode?
Yeah, I was very dazzled and gripped by this. I mean, the animation off the bat is just so expressive and lucid, and the way that they orchestrate these camera techniques through the animation I thought was incredibly impressive, both in just like the little jitters they use to highlight action, as well as the changes in perspective. Like, you know, you're doing all sorts of stuff that you couldn't do with a real camera, but also evoking the types of shots and the types of looks you would get out of a real camera, and switching between them, you know, seamlessly in one shot a lot of the time. And yeah, it really enhanced that punchy, swashbuckling adventure, but also intense energy. And yeah, it really swept me up in, you know, the adventure being along with these kids, you know, having the fun of the heist, but then also revealing, you know, the bigger scope of how this world works. You know, and I'm curious to see how it builds upon this and becomes more and more unique, because, you know, like, this is the type of story that we have seen, but it's so beautifully hewn, especially through this art style that to me harkens to fantasy and like steampunk and fantasy sci-fi, especially, where you have this almost dual approach where it looks like 2D paintings but also 3D, and coming from a studio that makes video games and who has been known for making, you know, shorts and trailers that are very cinematic. Throughout this, I was sitting here going, wow, this really does feel like the combination of, you know, like a narrative cinematic piece, but also like a cut scene. Like, you know, there's certain little flourishes and energetic visual elements that reminded me of a video game cutscene in a good way, not in like a, oh, the CG could be better kind of way. And yeah, I got incredibly just swept up in the whole entire scope of it. It's just so beautiful to look at, but also really engaging on an emotional level, on a, you know, plot level. I can't wait to see how this all grows and continues. Yeah, I was very enthralled.
Yeah, I would say like dazzled would be the word for me on this particular experience. It's the world that they have here. I don't know. I mean, you're saying what do you mean that we've seen something like this? Because I can't think of anything like this that I've seen before. Other than things that it evokes, I can't really think of something where I'm like, I don't know. This seems very unique to me.
Well, you know, like gang of kids who come from a rough environment, rough background, who are making their way in the world, coming of age. They've got like a strong protector figure. There's a greater...
Oh, that's what you mean by the character dynamics.
Yeah, like these kinds of stories. But this world that they've drawn here is quite unique and is quite, you know, vibrant and alive. I mean, yeah, there are other aesthetic schools that are clearly influencing it. So, you know, to see how the story evolves into something truly unique to this world that is so unique is something I'm curious to see. But, you know, at the outset, just introducing everybody, laying everything out, you know, setting the stage. Yeah, was dazzled, as you said.
Yeah, it's like, while there's like familiar archetypes in here, I think the voice work of everyone is perfect. Everyone is perfect. It feels alive. I don't feel like I'm watching. It feels like cinematic. You know what I mean? It doesn't. There's often a big divide between like an animated movie and animated shows, and every once in a while, like there are some great animated shows, don't get me wrong, there's some like beautiful animated shows, but more often than not, it's like, no, that's a show, and then there's movies. And this has such a cinematic approach to it, like the emotions that it just generates from almost every single sequence here. I'm like, I wish I was watching this on the big screen. That's kind of just the vibe that I get almost from beginning to end. And I think in terms of plot mechanisms, you know, it's like the way they had that opening sequence where they're pulling off the heist and then shit goes wrong. I wasn't expecting it to become such a tension-filled moment towards the end of like what they did is actually going to have severe consequences, because a lot of the times in stories like this, it's kind of like fun heist going wrong, but it's, you know, sure, it'll factor in and it's going to be important, but I wasn't expecting the stakes to become so heavy by the end of it, where you got what's his name, Vander. When you got Vander and he's being interrogated by the cops, and he's obviously friends with one of them, or enforcers, and he's friends with one of them, and then you're learning that actually what they did wasn't just some like kids messed up, you know, whatever, give them a slap on the wrist here, but he'll take care of it. It's not just some learning lesson for them. Like, this is gonna have drastic consequences for how the plot unfolds. It's linking to the prologue at hand. And I could just only imagine the weight, the emotional turmoil that's going to cause for our characters, specifically Violet and Powder, for the actions they did and how that went wrong. And already, like a character like Powder, who has this journey that you can already see of someone who has to learn to become, you know, more confident in herself, has to develop courage, be more brave. You know, starts off on this really frightened stage and has to find herself and the strength within, while looking up to this Violet character who's also learning how to be a leader and not really understanding the consequences of being a leader. Like, that usually a leader has this like responsibility bestowed upon them that they never quite asked for, and that's the good position she's in. It's like, you know, she's just kind of done her own thing, and she has people who look up to her. She never really asked for this, but now that she has a responsibility, it's her responsibility. She has to handle it. She has to take care of it and be aware of it. And I like that you have not just great world building and not just amazing action sequences, it's complemented so well by having an attention to detail on the characters, to the point where you're like, oh, I'm also really invested in their journey, and I'm concerned for them when shit's about to really hit the fan based off of how their heist went wrong. It's not just some funny thing that went wrong that led to a cool action scene. It's going to have severe consequences, it seems like, for the whole underground world. Because because Vander wants to protect them, because they are just kids. And so it's already managed, because the thing is, when you have a world this big, it's easy to make it feel impersonal, because there were times where I was like, oh shit, I gotta have my attention span on. I gotta have like my focus came on, because I'm learning a bunch of new words and a bunch of new things that I've never, this is really intricate, it's very involved. And I imagine if you play the game or something, maybe it makes it easier to latch on to everything. But I was like, oh, this is very like, this is like a more micro version of watching like a Dune or something, where you're like, yeah, I got to pay attention to all the sci-fi layers here. But yeah, I thought they managed to capture something personal while also giving us something grand in scale. And so, yeah, and I thought it was smart having that prologue at the top, because you know shit's gonna get very dark. So then it's,
and very red.
yeah. It's very, it like you said, it is extremely expressive, but
it's just like there's nothing in frame that doesn't get a little extra personality. It's like if you sit and look at like all the characters have their own little mannerisms, and the it really feels like they spared no expense to make this work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's energetic. It's eclectic. I loved it. I thought I was the first few minutes. I was like, oh shit, I am gonna love this show.
I'm gripped. Tell me more.
The first few minutes, I just knew it. And then of course the tease of the villain that's to come. But yeah, man. Rough rat, street rat. Let's get going. Let's get going. Arcane. Thank you guys so much for recommending this show. And yeah, subscribe, hit that bell, hit that like button. Last but not least, let's do a I'm gonna shout out today Rosa Para. I feel like this could be a show that you could sit down and watch with your kids. And in some ways, kind of remind me of the Violet character. You gotta deal with a bunch of rascals who are not really listening to you. And you gotta live such a tough life. And you gotta get your hands dirty once in a while to take care of them. They look up to you. And maybe sometimes you get a temper, but I feel like you're probably better at controlling your temper than this Violet person. But either way, I feel like it's a good family bonding show for you guys. I think you guys should watch it together. You should be reviewing it. Get them Latin numbers up, you know what I mean? He's a critic, in case you guys don't know, he's a critic. So, yeah, I mean, I was just looking through our list and I was like, easily Rose is the Violet.
Oh, absolutely.
Out of anyone left.
I'd follow you into any fire. Or robbery.
Any fire.
Or any
Why would you follow someone
dangerous.
into a fire?
Because maybe there's something valuable in the fire, or a person worth saving.
She's not a thief.
Maybe she just told me to walk into the fire,
You're taking
and Rose
away
is
the
such a
wrong
good leader.
qualities about
I'm just gonna
Violet.
do
I'm
it.
talking
I'm just
about
gonna do it because she's so commanding, and she knows what she's doing. She must have a good reason for me to walk into the fire.
Rose very differently tonight.
Rosa, I would do anything for you. I'll find fire right now.
Yeah, okay, we're done. We're done now. We're done.